arts, lifestyle. SNS Online.
Hello all, and a very warm welcome back to SNS Online. It's been a tidy while. Well, it's that time of year again when the bright, the bold, the beautiful, and even those lost souls who fell asleep in their own vomit and ended up on the wrong train by mistake on the overnight sleeper service from Stockton-on-Tees will all be heading up to bonny Edinburgh to offer us all their unique take on a theatrical trip of a lifetime. Whether it's a ticketed event or the so-called free fringe, where they pretend it's free and wait for the bouncers to collect when you're trying to leave. I never like my kneecaps anyway. In this trilogy of bite-sized interviews, we examine the hurdles people face in physically getting a show successfully embedded in Edinburgh over the August period, which happens to be my birthday, by the way. Not that I bother celebrating or anything like that. Whilst covering three very different events under the comedy umbrella, which will both make us laugh hard and occasionally think deep. Today's show feature a fabulous couple, both SNS returnees, who are taking a new but tested show up to Edinburgh for August. The premise of A Up Hitler is the shock revelation that our goose-stepping evil dictator didn't die at the end of World War II, but escaped with Eva Braun and his resident cronies to a guest house in Yorkshire, where he attempts, unsuccessfully, to continue his plans of world domination. A sharply observed satire that, although killingly funny, never forgets the horror of that time, allowing the show to have educational value as well as macho laughs. But getting the show up to Edinburgh, as with many others I'm sure, has not been without its obstacles, as we'll find out shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, and all they thems, put your hands together and give it up for writer-director David McCulloch and producer, performer and co-conspirator Hannah-Cait Harrison. So, hey up, David and Hannah, SNS returnees, welcome back to the show. And can I have a seek Heil?
Oh my God. Well, we've started early.
I've just had a lolly. I think the E numbers are kicking in. So, we'll scrub that bit. But how excited must you be that A Up Hitler is finally hitting the Edinburgh Fringe? I mean, OMG and all that.
Yes, it's something that a lot of people have said that we should do with this show. And there's always been the plan to take this show to Edinburgh Fringe. Even before it was written, just from the title alone, people were saying, oh, that would be good at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Absolutely. I was saying it for years. So just to establish, this is not the first time you put on the show, of course, thespians as you are, but this is the first time you've taken one to the Fringe.
Yes, this is our first time as producers, co-founders of a theatre company. What else do we do, Hannah? Well, I've written it as well.
He wrote it. We're both teching it. We're both in it.
Yeah.
I did the costumes.
Yeah.
Dave's done the marketing.
Yeah.
It's been very write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Yes.
You just want your name on the credits for every single thing that's going on.
Obviously, we do. Yeah, it's not just the fact that it saves money just having us do a lot of the work.
Well, yes.
At one point,
It's
Dave,
for our egos.
Totally.
At one point, Dave sort of said, right, we can't fit all of our jobs in the programme, so just choose which ones are most important to you, and we'll go from there.
I love it. So, we'll talk about the actual show in a minute, but just talk us through the whole process and the obstacles you've encountered on the way, which you've defeated with your actor swords and looks to camera, etc.
I mean, well, one of the first obstacles that came up was COVID, because we started...
Pesky COVID.
I know, pesky COVID. We started this show properly in 2020 with a research and development that was supposed to culminate with a performance at Brighton Fringe. And then the following year, in 2021, we were going to do the Edinburgh Fringe. But then COVID happened and we had to cut the R&D short. Brighton Fringe got cancelled that year. So all of those plans got pushed back a year and then an extra year because we couldn't do Brighton Fringe in 2021. So we had to do it in 2022. And now Edinburgh Fringe is 2023. So it's been a long ass journey.
It's kind of worked out for the best though. Like we were talking about this the other day. Like at the time, everything that's come along has felt like, oh my God, what else could possibly come along to hit us? But if it hadn't have happened the way that it happened, we wouldn't be in it. It wouldn't be the same show.
No.
Like it's one of these things that is constantly evolving with
Yes,
the
absolutely.
ever-changing climate.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, we've sort of said it's been really difficult, but also actually it's worked out really, really well.
It has. I mean, the script that we had after the R&D is insanely different to the script that has actually been presented on stage. And had it not been for lockdown basically shutting everything down and shutting down our production, I don't know if we'd be where we are now, because the script has vastly improved since then, and there were a lot of things in the old script that have now become very outdated and became very outdated very quickly, because we do take a few pot shots at our modern day political mess.
And let's face it, it's been a revolving door of prime ministers recently.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very true, yes.
So did it surprise you how much was practically involved to physically get ready, rehearse, finance, props transported, people transported, pets transported, and venue and accommodation and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I think, like, we've both seen it before from an actor's point of view, like what goes into putting on a show, but then actually putting on a producer's hat, we've both gone, good God, how do people do this, like, all the time?
Yeah, and like we'll go to bed one night thinking, wow, we've done loads for the show today, and then we'll wake up the following morning and go, oh bugger, we haven't done this, we haven't done that, there's this to do, and it still seems like there's a million and one things to do, and at the time of recording there's a week to go.
Presumably financially, that must have been one of the main issues to get the show up there, because it's quite costly business, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
just a tad, Nick, just a tad.
Yeah, very much so.
We have had to borrow money from various sources. It's very much been a beg, borrow and steal kind of thing.
Sure.
Well, just beg and borrow. Those bank robberies down the road from us had absolutely nothing to do with Cabaret Theatre.
Not at all.
But there's so much to think about in terms of cost, because there's the venue, which costs a lot, and you can do it as like a straight higher flat fee, which would work out you would get more money at the end of it if you sell well, as opposed to a box office split and other hidden costs and all of that malarkey. And then, of course, the accommodation, and everywhere in and around Edinburgh have just shot up their prices.
Yeah.
And we've been quite lucky. We've got accommodation at a university campus on the outskirts of Edinburgh. But if we stayed in Edinburgh Central, we'd be paying double, probably triple what we're paying for these uni digs, which is just insane.
Yeah. I still haven't sorted accommodation out for the Fringe. I want to go out for about 4 or 5 days, something like that. But I think it's going to sting me a little bit.
You might need to sell a kidney just to find a room to stay in.
I'll sell one of Andy's. He won't miss it. So. Sorry, Andy, if you're listening.
Why am I in a bathtub of ice?
I seem to remember you getting a few keyboard warriors making vast assumptions about the show on Twitter. Oh, should we call it X now? I believe it's X.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No one's going to call it X.
It's ridiculous.
Twitter.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
What's his face?
Bloody
Musk.
Elon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few people that have seen the title, seen the poster, and made assumptions as to what the show is. And a few people that aren't keen on the idea, have said that the show is platforming Hitler, which it isn't. It very much is definitely taking the piss out of him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know why anyone would see the show title and think, well, this is clearly a bloody pro-Hitler show or something.
I think people just like to have a go. You know, they've had a bad week. They think, right, I'm going to have a go on this. And if you react to it, that's a victory for them. They think, right, I'm going to wind them up even more now.
I mean, we've responded to people that have had genuine concerns.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, yeah.
Laid out like what the show is actually about, and on the surface, yeah, it is a farcical, ridiculous comedy. But deep down, there is a more serious message about the dangers of fascism that is currently rising in today's world and has been over the past few years, and this horrible mess that we live in.
Oh, tell me about
it. I mean, obviously, like, you know, you see a title like AOP Hitler, it is going to, I don't know, cause some reactions, but it's a tricky one. Yeah,
I've noticed the problem also seems to be putting the word Hitler into social media, because it'll say, "Oh no, that's against community guidelines, and you can't even promote your own show."
We lost our TikTok because they could not understand that it was a theatre show. So we got like violation after violation, started a new TikTok and put up one of the posts that we'd had up on our old TikTok for months, and they went, no, that's against our community guidelines.
It was the poster. The poster caused a bit of flack, and we had a TikTok which had an image from the Edinburgh Fringe programme of our listing, and then that got deleted and stuff. And I mean, I do know that in the marketing, we've very much just been the title, the poster, and the tagline of, Hitler hiding out in Yorkshire, because that has drawn in our audiences so far.
And can we just flag up that your poster has been nominated for an award? Is that right?
Yeah.
It is in the running for one.
It is in the running for Best Comedy Poster.
I voted for
British
it.
Comedy Guide.
Thank
you very much, Nick.
Totally.
It's been designed by our director, Chris Hawley. He wanted to go for quite a simple, eye-catching design, and it's worked. When we first performed the show in Bristol in 2021, we asked audience members, what was it about this? Why did you want to come and see this show? And they just pointed at the poster and said that and the title was enough to get us in, because we were intrigued.
When one young woman went, so I came for two reasons. One, the poster, and two, I'm currently studying
genocidal history.
Genocidal history. That was it. And she was like, and it was so factual. And we were like, yes, nah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how we get you.
Again, to flag up, there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of guffaws and stuff, but there are loads of, you get your fact check thing out there. There's a lot of information there about that very turbulent time in history.
And I will admit, we haven't really delved too much into the deeper meaning and the serious side of the play and the marketing, because, well, there's only so much you can write in one tweet, and we've found that, we're putting the farcical elements front and centre has drawn the audience in, and then suddenly they get something that they did not expect at all. And I think the best way to really judge this play is to watch it. And the only targets of our jokes are the very people that we are lambasting, which is Hitler, the Nazis, and supporters of modern day fascism.
I mean, it's
all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff, but it's no different to the flack that Life of Brian got back in the day, and the Mel Brooks film about Hitler as well, Springtime in
the Producers.
Producers. They all things that are sort of ahead of their time take a little while to gestate, whatever you call it. So you're ahead of the curve, I'd say.
Scratch and Sniff online with Nick Randell.
Give us dates, times, venue, and all the rest of it.
So, Aop Hitler is performing at the Space at Surgeons Hall from the 4th till the 26th of August, with a day off on the 13th, because we should probably give our actors and ourselves a rest.
Can I just say something? The last two people I've spoken to, they've both taken days off on the 14th, which I got to flag up is my birthday, actually. But you've actually picked yours on the 13th instead. Okay, so we can have a pre-party and a main do with the other people.
I mean, I think it's to do with the fact that our venue doesn't have any shows on the 13th. But yeah, we did it because of you, Nick.
Of course you did. Of course you did. I like to think this sort of might serve as a possible rough guide template, to other aspiring performers over the years. Are there any other, bullet points you can put across? Getting a show up.
Getting a show up there, perseverance.
Do not give up.
Yeah, don't give up. There have been, I cannot count the amount of times from when we first attempted to get the show on the stage in 2021 till now, where I've gone, oh, fuck it, I want to pull the plug, I can't do this, it's too much stress, what am I doing, no one's going to see it, da, 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 da. And then I've had to be talked down either by you, Hannah, or our director Chris, or the cast, or anyone. Persevere.
Well, not from a roof, presumably.
Well, a roof or a bridge overlooking the canal or something, I don't know.
The amount of calls I've had going, if anything else goes wrong, I'm throwing myself in the canal. And at one point I went, David, you can't. You're currently holding our wedding invites in your hand.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
He went, don't worry, I'll put them down first. It's like, Right, okay, yeah.
I forgot to mention.
Go.
I forgot to mention the time. We're on at 10:15 p.m. For every night that we're on, so it's a bit of a late one.
Yeah, you get a few late night revellers coming
Free
in.
drinks.
We do say there is a warning in the show that this show comes with an alcohol advisory warning, in that we strongly advise the consumption of alcohol before, during, and definitely after the play.
I love it. I'm so looking forward to seeing it up in Edinburgh. Everybody should go to this because it's fantastic. I've seen it once before, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves. Have you thrown any numbers in?
Any
Like,
numbers?
da, 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 and they start singing, and where does the orchestra come from and all that?
An orchestra? We could just about afford our actors, let alone a bloody orchestra.
I
Jesus.
play a mild flute. And I say mild because I can't say, semi-professional. I once tooted on a flute one time.
Did you know?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Filthy.
Filthy.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, in the original script, there were no song or dance numbers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then during the R&D, we both went away to go and get costume for one of the characters.
Because we weren't in it at this point.
Yeah, this because we had two other actors who sadly had to pull out because they got, proper paying jobs. Overrated, if you ask me. And then we came back to the rehearsal room, and Chris Hawley, our director, just said, he sent us a text beforehand saying, "I've done something." And then we came in, and he'd added this big dance number introducing one of the characters.
Oh,
and I was
brilliant.
just like, okay, well, that's now in the script.
We were gone for an hour, and they had this full choreographed dance number, complete with cape and dance moves.
Everything, everything.
My God, it is.
It all adds to the whole vibe of thing. I mean, next year, Set It On Ice. There you
It
go.
was a much shorter show, and then 4 dance numbers got added.
Yeah, there's a few that weren't in the original script, and I was like, yeah, all right, Chris, go on, shove that in.
Yeah, well,
I love
add
it.
disco lights to the tech.
He became he self-appointed himself choreographer as well as director for this show.
Before we wrap up, actually, I've got a Hitler joke. Can I tell you a bit my Hitler joke?
Oh, please.
Okay.
Is this going to get you cancelled, Nick?
No, it won't do. So Hitler is doing his usual nasty thing, and he's torturing a prisoner. So all you can hear is through the door. What is your name? Why are you here? What is your number? Where are your papers? And why do you keep hitting me when I ask you all these questions? Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
My cod German accent is probably going to get me cancelled if nothing else. But on that note, David and Hannah, best of luck with Way Up Hitler. I'm so looking forward to all the 5-star reviews.
So am I.